All right, San Antonio Spurs beat the OKC Thunder 103 to 82 in game 4, and it was a good game if you're a Spurs fan. This is the lead chart right here. You can see it's a bunch of black. The Spurs pretty much dominated throughout the game. OKC's biggest lead was 1 point. San Antonio's biggest lead was 25. There was only 6 lead changes throughout the game, and that was just right here in the first 6 minutes of the game or so. Then the Spurs pretty much took over. Here's a second quarter. OKC cut it to about 9 points. They had it cut to 10 right here towards the end of the second quarter, and then Wemby, he makes his half court shot at the end of the second quarter. I'm not going to say the game felt like it was completely over at that point, but I am a Spurs fan. If SGA made that shot and OKC was up 10 at that point and it pushed them up to like a 13-point lead, it would just be a real gut punch. And I'm sure that Wemby shot really hurt. And then the Spurs just go on. In the third quarter, they blow it open to 25 points in the third quarter. And just the way the Spurs played to start game 3, really intense defense, got up 15-0, then ended up losing that game. A 15-point lead is just a 15-point lead to me. If the Spurs were up 15 points in the third quarter, if the Spurs were up 15 points to start the fourth quarter, I still wouldn't feel like the game was over. So getting out to a 15-0 lead, it is cool, but we saw it. It doesn't mean the game is over. So again, the Spurs got out to a big lead in the first quarter and managed to keep up that level of intensity for the entire game. Moving on though, OKC, they only managed to score 82 points. The Spurs put up 103. That's what I was noticing. End of the first quarter, end of the second quarter, I was just noticing OKC's not scoring a lot of points. To finish with 82 points in an NBA game, it's really bad. Your offense was probably bad. The other team's defense was probably really good, and both things were true in this game. I heard somebody making the point. They were saying this game was just like game 3. The only difference was OKC was missing the open threes in this game. That's partially true, but the defense wasn't the same. The Spurs were playing SGA mainly one-on-one. We weren't trapping him at half court. The first 3 games, as soon as SGA would cross half court, 2 Spurs come up and trap him. He's passing the ball out, and Caruso's catching it at the 3-point line, or he's kicking it out to the corner for wide open threes for his boys. In this game, the Spurs were playing SGA mainly one-on-one with De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, Vassell, whoever it is. We'd switch all the pick and rolls, and then if SGA gets 2 feet inside the 3-point line, as soon as SGA gets inside the 3-point line, the Spurs would bring gap help so he doesn't get inside all the way to the rim, and then they'd basically just double team him once he gets inside the 3-point line. So now he's double teamed. Instead of being double teamed at half court and having all this space behind him, he's getting double teamed at the 3-point line. He makes the pass out to a pretty open shooter, but the Spurs can actually recover now. So he passes out to the wing. Say it's Caruso. He's usually wide open the first 3 games. Now a defender actually gets out there to contest his shot. Instead of SGA just making one pass for a wide open 3, now he makes the pass, and that offensive player has to make another pass to the corner. It wasn't just SGA making one pass for wide open 3 after wide open 3. OKC still got some pretty good looks out there, but the 3 balls were much more contested and just defended way better than they had been in the first 3 games of the series. So yeah, OKC missed a lot of threes, but it wasn't like they were just getting completely wide open threes like they had been these first 3 games. So the Spurs did make that adjustment. It was really noticeable. It was obvious SGA was not getting double teamed and trapped at half court because that worked in the regular season, but it obviously wasn't working the first 3 games. Yeah, that's the big thing I noticed, though. OKC didn't even crack 85 points. It's pretty crazy to score 82 points in a modern day NBA game. Again, OKC missed a bunch of threes. The Spurs played great defense, so both things were true out there. OKC has 47 rebounds. Spurs have 52. Pretty much a wash. Spurs have the 25 assists. OKC has 22. 11 steals for San Antonio, 9 for OKC. Spurs double them up, 10 blocks to 5 blocks. Wemby has 4 blocks, so the Spurs are usually going to win The block battle, it's pretty much the story of the whole series. OKC has 17 turnovers. The Spurs have 12 turnovers. Pretty much whichever team wins the turnover battle is usually going to win these games. Both teams are trying to do the same thing. Both teams want to turn you over and get out on the fast break and score before you can get your defense set up. And the Spurs are just fighting fire with fire right now. They're doing to OKC what OKC normally does to their opponent, and they've been doing a great job on SGA, honestly, all series long, but Spurs do win the turnover battle. With that being said, Spurs only have the 12 turnovers. Spurs win the fast break battle as well, 18-7, and those two things just always go hand in hand. Spurs shoot 39% from the field. If you told me San Antonio was going to shoot 39% from the field before the game started, I'd say awesome, we're about to get blown out, but the Thunder only shoot 33% from the field. OKC's 18% from three. Um, they did miss some good looks out there again. The Spurs changed the defense we were playing. They're playing SGA one-on-one way, way more. Like I said before, only double teaming him once he gets inside the three-point arc. So the Spurs could actually recover and get late contests and early contests as well. They just did a much better job guarding the shooters. Like I said before, it's not SGA just making one simple read, one easy pass for a wide open three. The Spurs stopped trapping him at half court. And again, like I said, both things were true. OKC got some good looks that they were making in game three. But again, for the most part, they weren't getting those three balls were much more contested than they have been these first three games. San Antonio shoots 27% from three. Again, if you told me before the game the Spurs are going to shoot 27% from three, I'd say badass, we're going to lose this game. OKC's 89% from the line. Spurs are 75%. I thought officiating was fair this game. There's one play, I think it's the second quarter. De'Aaron Fox goes up to contest SGA's jumper. De'Aaron Fox comes off to the side of him, doesn't touch him at all. SGA falls over and crumples over like he got shot by a shotgun, and the officials give him the call. If y'all remember that play again, it's De'Aaron Fox. Comes off to the side of SGA, does not touch him at all. SGA just falls over, and they give him the whistle on that particular play. But the game overall, I thought officiating was fine in the game. OKC has 36 points in the paint. The Spurs have 50. We usually win points in the paint just with all of our size out there, mainly Wemby. OKC has 14 second chance points. The Spurs have 17. So that's pretty much a wash on the second chance points battle. We'll start with OKC. They have more depth than San Antonio, of course. I think San Antonio's a more talented team just overall than OKC has more depth. So I'd compare this to like the 2014 finals in a way. The teams are different, but the Miami Heat are and were the more talented team than the Spurs in 2014. As a Spurs fan, I would say that they were more talented than us just overall, but the Spurs team just had more depth than that Miami Heat team. That's kind of what this series is reminding me of. The Spurs have more talent top to bottom, in my opinion, but OKC they can go 11 or 12 deep, and that worked out the first three games, but this game, those bench guys just weren't knocking down the shots. Alex Caruso, he played 14 minutes this game. He only got one shot up. The Spurs basically said, we're actually going to lock in and guard Alex Caruso like a knockdown shooter. He's not a giant threat from behind the arc, but he's been knocking them down this series. You got to adjust to what's happening in the series, and Coach Mitch Johnson made a great adjustment, and our game plan was to leave Caruso open the first three games. He was making us pay for it, and this game we actually lock in and only let him get up one shot. He didn't even get up a three ball, so the Spurs were just all up in Alex Caruso's body and not letting him get those shots off. Alex Caruso was minus 22. Plus minus doesn't always tell the whole story, but Alex Caruso is a plus minus god. He's usually a giant plus anytime he's on the court. So for him to have the biggest minus out of everybody on the plus minus is pretty crazy. He didn't have an impact on the game, to be honest. He did have the 2 blocks, no steals. he wasn't out there just breaking the Spurs offense like he has been these first three games. So it was an off game for Alex Caruso. Um, Aaron Wiggins, he gets the 20 minutes out there. He's 0 for 4 from 3. Just a rough shooting night for everyone on the Thunder. Isaiah Joe, he has the 11 points in 18 minutes. He's 4 for 9, 2 for 7 from 3, so his 3 ball was pretty off out there as well. Like I was saying, they get deep into their bench, but they just couldn't get that same production they got in game 3. Jalen Williams, he's just shooting no dip threes in game 3. I think he knocked down 5 threes that game. He's 1 for 7 this game. So they're shooting. I wasn't expecting OKC to shoot 60% from 3 the entire series. But with that being said, as a Spurs fan, we couldn't just gamble again and leave all these guys wide open because it obviously wasn't working out. They were killing us with all these open threes. But again, Coach Mitch Johnson makes the awesome adjustment. We play way more man-to-man defense in this game. Even with SGA, say you have De'Aaron Fox, Vassell, Stephon Castle guarding SGA, he can score on these guys one-on-one, but we're basically just pressing up on SGA. You can't have a wide-open 3 ball. He blows by Castle, Fox, whoever it is. If he gets by them, Wemby's at the rim, you're not getting a layup. So we're basically just forcing SGA to live off a diet of mid-range jumpers, which he can score on. Um, he's really comfortable in the mid-range, of course, but this series he's been pretty off, to be honest, except for I want to say it was game two and three. He was pretty solid, especially just with his gravity and playmaking for all of his teammates. But this game was a bit of an off game for SGA. Kenrich Williams has the 10 points in 23 minutes. He does knock down 2 of his 4 threes. Jared McCain, he's 0 for 5 from 3, 1 for 10 from the field. Him and Caruso, the Spurs actually paid attention to these guys instead of just leaving them wide open. Jared McCain, he might have made 1 or 2 threes last game, but for the most part, he was just pump faking, attacking closeouts, getting all the way to the rim, and getting mid-range jumpers as well. So the Spurs did a much better job on him out there. Lou Dort is unplayable in this series. He has 2 points in 17 minutes. Lou Dort has no bag. He plays football on defense, and Lou Dort, he's just a dirty ass player, and I don't like him. There it is, boys. Cason Wallace, he plays 20 minutes. He's 2 for 8, 1 for 3 from 3. Just an off shooting night for pretty much all the role players on the Thunder. Were just really off tonight. Chet Holmgren, he shrinks and he's scared of Victor Wembanyama. He has 10 points, 9 rebounds. He's 3 for 8 from the field. He's 0 for 1 from 3. I don't expect Chet to outplay Wemby. That's done. That was like 2 years ago. I don't know why people try to compare Chet to Wemby. It's just not fair to Chet Holmgren. But with that being said, if I'm an OKC fan, the 9 rebounds are cool. The 1 block is cool. The 3 turnovers aren't cool. That's really bad. For Chet to only take 8 shots, I'm a Spurs fan. If you're an OKC fan, let me know what you think. But I'd want Chet to be more aggressive. I need like at least 15 points from Chet. I need him to take at least 12 or 13 shots. He just doesn't seem aggressive out there. Even if he gets like an open 3, normally Chet would hit a pump fake, attack the closeout, get right there to the free throw line where he can knock down that mid-range jumper. Once he's attacking closeouts, maybe try to get all the way to the rim, which he can't really do with Wembanyama out there. But Chet's been he's been really disappointing. He shrinks every time he sees Wemby. I think he knows people are unfairly comparing him to Wemby. It's not even, they don't belong in the same sentence together, to be honest. I think even Thunder fans can admit that. But, I am a Spurs fan. If you're a Thunder fan, let me know what you think. But if I was a Thunder fan, I think I'd want Chet to be more aggressive because I don't expect you to put up better numbers than Wemby, but I would expect him to be more aggressive out there because he really just hasn't been putting a lot of effort on the game, it feels like to me. Isaiah Hartenstein, he makes like four of his push shot floaters in the first quarter. It felt like he was killing us on those, I guess you could say. He was keeping his team in the game. But he has the 12 points, 7 rebounds. 3 assists. He does have the 3 fouls. The officials are actually looking at Hartenstein now. I guess all the stuff on social media, I don't know what it is. They rewatched the games, of course, as well. But they saw Hartenstein just grabbing the shit out of Wembanyama in game two, just pulling Stephon Castle's hair and doing a lot of the arm grabs, the pushing, giving Wemby hugs down low. I don't consider that dirty play, just playing physical. If you can get away with the fouls, then get away with the fouls, dude. If the refs aren't calling it, then keep on grabbing Wemby, keep on pushing him, do everything you can do to help your team win. I don't think the grabbing and pushing and holding Wemby, I don't consider those dirty plays. They're fouls. They should be called fouls, but people just say, oh, it's playoff physicality. This is just what players are going to have to deal with in the playoffs. The Spurs have played really physical on SGA when SGA is coming off of screens. Spurs are grabbing him, they're grabbing his arm, they're pulling his hip, shoving him, and doing all sorts of physical things against SGA. So SGA is playing through physicality as well. But again, I thought the when he put Stephon Castle's hair, I thought that was really dirty. He should have been fined for that. They didn't do anything like that, so I thought that was just obviously a dirty play. But all the grabbing, holding, pushing Wemby, as a Spurs fan, I think it should be called fouls. It's just obviously fouls down there. Playoff physicality, I get it, but again, to Thunder fans' credit and Hartenstein's credit, keep on fouling, keep on pulling and grabbing if you can get away with it. But the officials have been paying more attention to it as the series goes on. And then SGA, games 2 and 3, he was really good as a playmaker. He was decent scoring wise as well, but he was terrible. He was terrible this game, especially by best player in the world standards. I agree. He's one of the 2 best players in the world. It's him and Wemby. If you have SGA number 1, I have no argument against that. But he's 6 for 15, really bad efficiency. He's under 33% from the field, 19 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. So he did an okay job getting his teammates involved. But again, like I said earlier, Spurs are playing man-to-man for most of this game. It's not just SGA getting doubled at half court, then he kicks it to Alex Caruso for a wide open 3, or kicks it out to the corner to Cason Wallace for a wide open 3. The Spurs were actually manned up on these players. So instead of SGA having, I think he had 12 assists game 2, then 9 assists in game 3, the Spurs did a much better job just limiting his playmaking. And like I said earlier, just playing him one-on-one and forcing him into a diet of mid-range jumpers, which he can make. He can still get on fire and score 30 plus in the mid-range with a low amount of free throws. SGA is 7 for 7 from the line in this game. I'm a Spurs fan. I'm an SGA hater. When people say, oh, SGA, he wouldn't be shit without the free throw attempts, that's just not true. Even without the free throws, SGA would still be averaging probably 28, 29 points per game on 55% shooting. So that's just not true when people say SGA wouldn't be a great offensive player without the free throws, because he still would be one of the best offensive players we've ever seen. And I'm just going to say, I'm going to bring it up on the opposite side of things. The SGA Glazers will just say, oh, SGA is one of the best offensive players of all time, and he never flops. The flopping narrative is overblown. Why are people always talking about this? Just get over it. I'm a Spurs fan. I love Manu Ginobili. Manu Ginobili was 100% a gigantic flopper. If you come up to me and say, hey, Ginobili's a huge flopper, I'm not going to tell you, you just don't know ball, bro. You're just a Ginobili hater. I'm going to tell you, yup, Manu Ginobili was a gigantic flopper, and check out these 5 rings, bro. I wish SGA fans could just admit that he's a humongous flopper, because he definitely is. Video evidence of it again and again. You can go watch a 5-minute compilation of SGA flopping on YouTube, and it's not a narrative-driven thing. We're hyper fixated on SGA flopping because he's notorious for flopping and flopping and flopping for the past 5 years. When James Harden was in his prime in Houston, I think we all acknowledged, hey, James Harden's an amazing offensive player. He's one of the best offensive players we've ever seen, and he's also a gigantic flopper. I think even when James Harden was in his prime, I'm pretty sure even Houston Rockets fans at that time would acknowledge that James Harden's a flopper. So SJ is one of the best offensive players we've ever seen. Even without the free throws, SJ would still be one of the best offensive players we've ever seen. So that is true. And SJ is a gigantic flopper. When OKC fans try to defend SGA flopping and try to say, oh, you don't know ball, SGA doesn't flop. SGA doesn't just fall down for no reasons on jump shots when he didn't get touched. It's just not true. He does. He does flop a whole lot. And he's a great offensive player. I mentioned it earlier in the video. If you watch the game, it's in the second quarter. I'm sure you know the play I'm talking about. Either late in the first or early in the second quarter, De'Aaron Fox contests SGA's jumper. De'Aaron Fox comes off to the side of SGA. No contact down low, no contact up top. SGA shoots the jumper. He crumples over like he got hit by a shotgun. He falls on the ground, and they give him 2 free throws on that play. If you're an OKC fan, just rewatch the play. De'Aaron Fox does not touch him. SGA falls down for no reason. That is flopping, and he got 2 free throws on that particular play. Again, I don't think officiating was bad this game, but that's a particular play where SGA doesn't get touched at all. He falls down for no reason. That's a flop. And game 1, 2, 3, 4, I can point to one play in every single game where SGA flopped, and he's just a flopper, dude. It just is what it is. Moving on to the Spurs, Carter Bryant, he had 0 points. He's 0 for 1. He's like a deer in headlights when he's out there. He's so excited to be on the court and he wants to make something good happen, and then he just turns the ball over every time he has it. He just fouls somebody every single play. It feels like he just makes a mistake. Every time he touches the ball, it feels like Coach Mitch Johnson pulls him aside. Mitch Johnson is grabbing his jersey. I don't know what Mitch said to him, but he's, what the fuck are you doing or something? We need you, Carter. And he's just thrown into the fire, dude. Carter's a rookie. The Spurs fans love Carter Bryant. I think a lot of NBA fans just like Carter Bryant. He's a really high-level defender. He's going to be an elite defender in the NBA. A really nice three-point shot. I think he's going to be a really high-level 3-and-D player, maybe even as soon as next year. But Carter Bryant is not ready for the fire to be playing against an all-time great OKC defense and going out there to contribute game in and game out. Next game, Carter Bryant's going to get minutes again. If he makes a mistake, Mitch Johnson's going to pull him over and chew him out again. And I love it. Coach Popovich used to do that to Tony Parker all the time. And it's just tough love. Carter Bryant, he's almost in tears on the sideline. I'm sure y'all saw the shot, and people are saying, Mitch Johnson shoot him out. Carter Bryant can't take the tough coaching. And it's not that. Carter Bryant was just mad at himself. He was disappointed that he wasn't helping out the team, and that's why he got emotional. He just cares so much about the game. With that being said, though, he had 1 steal and 1 block, only 1 turnover. He does have the 4 fouls in 6 minutes. Like I was saying, feels like every play he's just fouling someone. Does have the 1 turnover. Does have 1 steal and 1 block, so he did some good things out there. But again, he's just being baptized by fire right now, and we need him. We need like 5 to 10 minutes of Carter Bryant, and this is just the toughest matchup you can get thrown into the fire against. Jordan McLaughlin gets a quick 3 minutes. Pretty sure that was garbage time. Knocks down a 3 ball. Kelly Olynyk had a garbage time 3 ball as well. Luke Cornett gets blessed by the Nuns. He has the 6 points on 3 for 4 shooting, 7 rebounds as well, 2 blocks. Gets to 13 minutes and gives us some good production. We can't really play him against OKC's small ball lineup, but in this game I noticed when Luke Cornett was in the game, they were playing him next to De'Aaron Fox so they could at least run some pick and roll action. De'Aaron Fox got, I want to say, 2 different alley-oops to Luke Cornett. So 6 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 blocks in 13 minutes. I'll take that all day. Luke Cornett gave us some great production out there. Harrison Barnes, we'll start with Champagny. Champagny's been really, really off out there. He's 0 for 5 from 3, 1 for 7 from the field. Does give us the 4 rebounds and 2 assists, 1 block. Champagne's a strong defender. Out of like Castle, Vassell, De'Aaron Fox, him or De'Aaron Fox are probably the weakest link, the guys you want to attack, but they're still not weak defenders. De'Aaron Fox and Champagne are still really good perimeter defenders, but they're not as good as Vassell or Castle. So you're just going to attack the weakest link you can. But again, the Spurs' weakest links for their perimeter defenders are still very good perimeter defenders. But Champagne really versatile defensively, does a great job moving his feet. He's always in the right place at the right time defensively. And he's 0 for 5 from 3. He's been really off for most of the playoffs. So in game 5, we're just hoping he can knock down 3 or 4 threes, space out the court for us, and just help us out to win a game. I feel like Julian Champagne's due. He's due for a hot shooting night. So we'll see. We'll see in game 5 if he can give us 3 or 4 threes, because we're probably going to need them if we want to win that game. But yeah, just good defense for Champagne. His 3 ball has been really off for most of the playoffs, if we're going to be honest out there. We'll talk about Keldon and Harrison Barnes together. Harrison Barnes has 5 points. He's 0 for 4 from the field. He's 0 for 2 from 3. He had some nice drives, got fouled a couple times, and gets 5 points at the free throw line. 3 rebounds, 1 steal. He has 1 turnover. Keldon Johnson has the 2 turnovers. Keldon has 6 points. He's 3 for 12 out there. He's 0 for 4 from 3. 3 rebounds, 1 steal. Harrison's plus 13 in 16 minutes. Keldon's plus 7 in 18 minutes. I love Keldon Johnson. He's our longest tenured Spur. He's just about unplayable in this series. I hate to say it. Just take all the emotions out. Just watching basketball, Keldon Johnson he's a net negative for the team, and he's had a really rough playoffs, and he just might not be playable in this series, to be honest. I'd rather see Harrison Barnes get more minutes than Keldon. I feel better with Harrison Barnes in the game this series, because he's going to be in the right places defensively. Keldon was much better this game defensively than last game. Last game, he had all sorts of breakdowns. I want to say Lou Dort had a back cut on him, and that's inexcusable for Lou Dort, slow ass, to get a back cut on you. But he's 3 for 12 out there. He's 0 for 4 from 3. Every time Keldon touches the ball, he just gets tunnel vision. He wants to drive. If there's 2 or 3 players in front of him, he doesn't care. He's going to try to drive inside and play bully ball and just get to the rim and take some highly contested shot that just isn't a good offensive possession for the team. He was 0 for 4 from 3. He'll catch it out there, and he's slightly contested, and he'll still just pull up and take ill-advised 3-point shots that don't help out the team. Keldon, he's not a selfish player. He gets the ball, and in his head, just like all season long, he feels like, I'm going to get downhill, I'm going to play bully ball, and it worked out for a lot of the season. He won 6th Man of the Year playing that way, but in this series, like I was saying, every time Keldon touches the ball, he feels like the only way he can help the team is by making a 3 ball, or the only way he can help the team is by getting into the paint and trying to create some kind of bully ball shot in the paint, where the reality is a lot of the time Keldon will touch the ball, and the best way he can help the team is by making that next swing pass. Say Keldon catches the ball, he has a decent look in the corner from 3, and Harrison Barnes is right here on the wing wide open. Keldon will catch the ball. Instead of making that extra pass, he'll take that first 3, and maybe that corner 3 is kind of open, but we all see the better play is to make the swing pass to Harrison Barnes, Dylan Harper, whoever it is right here in the wing. And sometimes he will make that pass, but he'll catch it, he'll hesitate for half a second or 1 second, then he makes the pass, and the defense is already recovered to the shooters by that point. And Keldon, it's been his whole career. He has tunnel vision. He's not a great creator. He has 0 assists. He's not great at creating shots for the rest of his teammates. He has poor court vision on offense. And I'm not giving up on Keldon. He could possibly come out and have a good game 5, but I'm not banking on it. Just emotions, throw emotions out the window. Just watching basketball, I think the Spurs will be better if we play Keldon maybe 5 to 10 minutes. To be honest, I like Harrison Barnes' minutes much more than Keldon Johnson's minutes, especially in this series. It just is what it is. Dylan Harper, he's still playing through his hamstring, but he plays 20 minutes. He has the 7 points. He's 2 for 4, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Only has the 2 turnovers. He's not. He doesn't have his burst out there. You can tell he's a bit hampered. Still playing really good on defense. Dylan Harper is a really underrated defender. That's the thing. Dylan Harper is a rookie. Keldon Johnson, I want to say Keldon is 20, 25, 26 now, to 7th or 8th season in the NBA. And I trust Dylan Harper way more on defense to be in the right place and be engaged and see his man and see the ball at the same time, not have guys getting back cuts on him or losing track of his man and letting them get a wide open three. That's the thing with Keldon. He's a veteran now. It's just inexcusable the mistakes he'll make on offense and on defense, even though I thought he was much better defensively in this game. But yeah, Harper doesn't have his burst out there. Just us having him out there, him, Castle, and Fox, just us having our 3 ball handlers is huge though. Dylan was plus 25 this game. He played a lot of his minutes with Wemby, so that has something to do with it. But just as us having 3 ball handlers, we saw when Stephon Castle was trying to take on the ball handling load, he had 12 turnovers, then he had 9 turnovers. This game, Castle only has 1 turnover, so it's been huge having De'Aaron Fox and Dylan Harper out there to help take that pressure off of Stephon Castle. Speaking of Castle, he's 5 for 11. He has the 13 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. Of course, he has 1 steal, 1 block. Does have the 5 fouls out there, but the 1 turnover, that's the huge thing out there. De'Aaron Fox and Harper just help take that pressure off of him so much. De'Aaron Fox has 0 turnovers. He has 10 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Really good defense on SGA in the times that he was switched out onto him. He's 5 for 13 from the field, so not great efficiency. 1 for 2 from 3, so we'll take that. 12 points on 13 shots. Again, it's not bad efficient. It's not great efficiency. You had more shot attempts than points, which is usually never great. But once it's the playoffs, I kind of throw efficiency out the window at that point. Just find a way to impact the game. Gave us the 10 rebounds, the 5 assists, so that was huge. He was the leading rebounder on our team. He's still playing through his injured ankle. He looked hobbled a couple times out there in this game, but De'Aaron Fox is playing through the sprained ankle, and we would have lost the game without De'Aaron Fox. We already talked about Castle. Just amazing defense on SGA all game long. Again, the Spurs make that adjustment. We're playing him one-on-one much more and not just swarming him as soon as he crosses half court. That's the adjustment Mitch Johnson made, and it really made a big difference in the game. Devin Vassell has been our most consistent player, probably all playoffs long. He has 13 points on only 7 shots. He's 2 for 4 from 3, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Felt like all of our players had at least 1 steal and 1 block out there. Castle, Fox, Vassell all did the same thing. Plus 27 on the plus minus. And then finally, we talked about everyone. Wembanyama was awesome. He takes 22 shots, shoots 50% on his 22 shots, scores 33 points in only 31 minutes. It's awesome to have a blowout just because it's fun to have a blowout win, of course, but on top of that, we get to play Wemby only 31 minutes. If it was a close game, of course, he's probably playing 40 minutes or more, but it's great. We're able to get this win comfortably and let Wemby get some rest going into game 5. 3 for 7 from 3, 8 for 9 from the line. He has the 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks. Does have the 4 turnovers, but it's all good. If one of our players is going to have 3 or more turnovers, I want it to be Wemby because it means he's probably just being really aggressive out there. Last game, he was a bit passive, it felt like. He starts the game with a step back 3. Things are going good. And then Coach Johnson pulls him out of the game. the Thunder to get some momentum and kind of come back into the game. In this game, Wemby played probably the first 8 or 9 minutes of the game. He just played that entire stretch. We have good momentum. We leave him in the game, and we keep that good momentum going forward. And he was just so aggressive out there. I love him taking 22 shots. There there should pretty much never be a game where Wemby doesn't take more shots than all the rest of his teammates. Game 5, I expect Wemby to come out and take 20 or more shots again. And if the Spurs are going to lose the game, I want us to lose the game with Wemby taking 25 or more shots. If we're going to die, I want Wemby to die on his sword and at least go out shooting. I make the point with Wemby. Wemby still doesn't have one go-to move. If you think Wemby has a go-to move, let me know what it is because I've watched all of Wemby's games his entire career and he doesn't have any go-to move. Hopefully over the offseason he'll develop. I want to see him develop like a mid-post game where we can have him catch the ball right there at the elbow, catch the ball right there at the free throw line, and he can develop like a Dirk Nowitzki fadeaway. Even if he just catches the ball right there at the free throw line, he can face up and he can just shoot right over guys at the free throw line. Or if they bring help from either one of the corners, Wemby can kick it out to the corner for a wide open three. OKC does a great job not letting Wemby catch the ball in that area for the most part this series. In this game, they're bringing Wemby off of off-ball screens, so he's coming from the corner. He comes off an off-ball screen, and then he's able to catch the ball right there at the free throw line area. So he just did a much better job getting Wemby the ball in places where he's comfortable, where he can actually operate. To my point, though, Wemby, he is a number one offensive option, but he's kind of not. With SGA, we haven't seen it so much in this series, but for the most part with SGA, you can give him the ball again and again and again and again all game long on offense. Like we saw in game 2 and game 3, just give him the ball. He's going to make the right decision time and time again. He had 4 turnovers this game, but for the most part, SGA is not going to turn the ball over, and he's going to make awesome decisions. With Wemby, at least in my opinion, you can't give Wemby the ball just again and again and again. Let him have a usage rate as high as SGA and expect Wemby to make the right play over and over and over again. I don't think Wemby is at that level yet where he's a number one option offensively. It's weird. He's so talented that he is our number one offensive option. But I think y'all get what I'm saying. He doesn't have like a go-to move. He doesn't he does have good court vision. He's a willing passer, but he's still learning how to make those reads when he gets double teamed and triple teamed. Where with SGA, he gets double teamed or triple teamed, and he knows exactly where he wants to go with the ball. Um, my internet crashed out right now, but please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to hit 7 million subscribers. Let me know what you thought about the Spurs' performance tonight. I give a lot of the credit, most of the credit to Mitch Johnson. He made the adjustments defensively. He's playing SGA one-on-one for the most part. We don't double team SGA until he gets 2 feet inside of the three-point line. Now when we double team him, it's much easier to get out to those three-point shooters and contest their looks. Again, I heard people making the point, the only difference between game 3 and this game was OKC missing their open threes. And that's partially true, but the reason they were missing those threes was because they were much more contested than they were in game 2 and game 3. But please like and subscribe. 7 million subscriber road. Like the video, hate the video, tell your friends about it, do something to it, and we'll see y'all next time.